Question?
43 for Steph on senior night. I mean, it's a pretty special night for him.
It was a special night. Obviously, you know, he understood the importance of the game. You know, he told me before the game, you know, Coach, I've never lost to Mississippi State. I didn't think about that, but we beat the play in our first game this year. We won, I guess, 4 straight prior. So I guess he wanted to make sure that stayed the course. I think some of the times, though, we got way too dependent upon him. And because of the way people try to defend him, especially when we put him in ball screen actions, they put 2 guys on him, and if we can get him extended, then we can play 4-on-3 on the backside. And I didn't think we were very aggressive in attacking those matchups early. Second half, I thought we did a better job. We just couldn't put them away, and that's to Mississippi State's credit. Boy, they're very, very athletic on that perimeter. Gavin Ware, I mean, I told him after the game, what a career that kid's had.
Moody had like 5 turnovers in 6 minutes and then won the rest of the way. What changed?
You know, he ended up with 8 on the game because, again, he's trying to make every play. And sometimes, you know, just like some of his shots, some of them you're like head scratchers, but you've got to live with that because you put so much responsibility on him as it relates to his decisions. He did have 6 assists, but just forced some action. I thought in the first half we got it up 10 or 12, and then we could never get to the media timeout, and we got a little gassed. Turnover to a layup, turnover to a layup, then an and one. Next thing you know, we look at it's a tie game again. So I just thought some of it is mental fatigue because he's asked to do so much with the ball.
Andy, they shot really well from the perimeter against you guys in Starkville, and it looked like you were intent on limiting that tonight.
Well, you know, they hit 3 threes in the first half. They made a few at the end to keep this thing a little more interesting than I would have preferred, but Q Weatherspoon made a couple at the end. Fred Thomas a couple in the corner off of late rotation, but I thought we did a better job. We let Malik, you know, rhythm himself into his first, and we did a better job of trying to force them to do more things off the bounce, which, again, we were trying to push them into some support deep.
Andy, what do you think? It seemed like that half-court trap you guys were running kind of got him hurried up or something.
Yeah, you know, the change of defenses is something that we do, and I think when you see us play extended man, you see why. It's not to show you how creative I am. It's to try to give us a chance to win. We cannot do a steady diet. We try to keep people off balance, and that's what worked for us tonight. The half-court trap was effective, and then in the second half, they did a better job of making some adjustments in their personnel to the one trap, so we changed our front and went more 1-3-1, and that was really effective for us down the stretch. Honestly, that was the only thing that we could get a stop in the last 3 minutes, the 1-3-1.
You think that was one reason Gavin was just open a lot?
He was open because in zone, you don't have a man responsibility. He's such a big body, but to me, with the naked eye, it was as if we didn't see him, like he was invisible at times. We're standing in an area, but we don't put our body on him early enough to neutralize his size and strength, and he made us pay.
Would you say this is one of the more aggressive games Ole Miss has played, not only on defense but sort of in the paint?
Well, you know, I think Mississippi State has really changed. You know, a lot of times when you play a team a second time, you can really take a lot from what you learned in game 1. But in this instance, I'm not sure they could take a lot from first game, nor could we, based on how completely different both teams are playing. As it related to personnel for us, and for them, they're much more aggressive in their man. They're really digging up in you, using their athleticism. So one of our big keys was making sure that we put pressure on the paint. Let's pound the paint, albeit on the pass into Sebas, who finally made some plays for us in the second half, or off the dribble. And that's how Moody got to the foul line 18 times.
Andy, are you ever aware of how many points a player has in a game? And did you know that Stephen was on course for 50 much of the night?
No, I mean, I can hear the PA when I'm looking up for the score. I see that he had obviously a monster night, and I knew he had 24 at the half. So he was in great rhythm early, really led us with his energy. He played like a senior all-league, you know, champion should play. And on Monday he'll be the second, probably the first back-to-back winner of the Bailey Howell Award. I'm going ahead to predict that. He won it last year. I think he's going to win it again on Monday, and he certainly solidified that tonight.
Last game for Perez and Newby after being here for 4 years. What do you have to say about the 4 seniors?
You know, it's different in basketball because the games come so quick. Even the rivalry, and I've said this before, but Mississippi State Ole Miss in football, it's the Egg Bowl, it's the culmination of a season. Lately, it's had huge impact for both programs. But regardless, win or lose, you know you're not playing the next Saturday. You've got time to regroup. maybe you put the pads up, or you're preparing for a big bowl, as both programs have done the last few years. But in basketball, we're going to watch the tape tomorrow, and we got to immediately get ready for Tennessee. So certainly it's important for our fan base, it's important for our student body, it's important for our university, but for us, that culminating with it being senior night, you know, I wish it wasn't Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. I wish one time we could maybe get a senior night on a Saturday. But I thought the support was great in ushering these kids out. Two of them that have been in our program for 4 years and have done great things. Tomas Giallo, although he didn't have a great night tonight, has really been a huge plus for us down the stretch. And then what can you say about Moody, one of the most electrifying players in our history.
What do you guys need to do to be a little better on the road at Tennessee?
You know, it's a completely different game. They've had their issues, but they played really well at home. And it'll be their senior night, and they've got some guys in that program, one being Kevin Punter, who's been out with an injury, but there's some anticipation that he'll be back on senior night. He's the second leading scorer in the league behind Moody, who's had a tremendous year. We've got to defend. We've got to eliminate these live ball turnovers because they do like to turn you over. And then they play a lot like Mississippi State plays in that they're small and really 4 spots, which force you some difficult matchups defensively. And we've got to take advantage of that with our size offensively.
Andy, what do you hope Moody's legacy is here now that he's played his last regular season game?
You know, again, I think he's just electrifying. You know, when asked to describe him, I say the one word that pops in my head is explosive. He's just explosive. He jumps off the page at you. He's the ultimate playmaker, and we've had to depend on him a lot this year, and he's responded more times than not. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I understand where we are currently, but I still do believe this team's got to run. You know, based on my math and based on a couple of teams last night and how they play, I think if we control our fate and find a way to go and win a road game, we're going to finish 6th in the league. And with that, who knows what the matchup will be because we're all kind of jammed in there together. But then it puts you in a position to try to do something special. And that's really the goal. This kid, for us, he's delivered for us in big-time ways. The ultimate playmaker that I've coached here in 10 years.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.